Hello.
Hi.
So, how does it feel like to see your book on the big screen?
It's amazing. I wrote a lot of books before I wrote this one, and you always have a kind of distant dream that maybe one day there will be the Hollywood movie, but nobody really believes it. It's like having a lottery ticket, you just think maybe one day. But from the moment I met with the studio, they seemed so focused, so determined to make it happen, and it has been possibly the most exciting thing I've ever done in my professional career. I can't be cool about it. It's just really exciting, yeah.
So, what were your feelings last night at the movie premiere? You probably saw, well, this is happening.
It often takes me 24 hours to even digest it, and it was amazing. I think the lovely thing for me, I had my family there, which doesn't always happen, and we had fans who had camped out from 7 o'clock the day before to make sure, and they'd all got their books, and so for me it was just lovely, and I loved it.
How did you come up with the idea of maybe for you in the first place?
Well, it was two things, really. At that time, I had two relatives in my family who needed 24-hour care just to stay alive.
Okay.
And if you have that in your family, then you are constantly asking yourself questions about quality of life and what it means to keep somebody alive, what you can offer them. And while this was going on, I was driving my car one day and I heard a story on the radio news about a young man, a sportsman, who had been left paralysed after an accident and several years later had persuaded his parents to take him to a centre for assisted suicide. And I found this story very shocking, especially as a parent. I couldn't understand it at all. I couldn't understand how you wouldn't find a way through if you were him, or how you would agree to that if you were the parent. And then the more I looked at the story, the more I went into it and tried to put myself in their shoes, I realised it just wasn't black and white. And for me as a writer, the things that interest me are the grey areas, the things that there are no answers to. There is no right and wrong in this story. There is just a question, which is, what would you do? And I felt very strongly that we shouldn't judge. And so really I just wanted to explore, what would it be like if you had one man who just refused to go the way that everybody wanted him to go?
Yeah.
What do you do? That was my question.
Yeah. So, was it easy or difficult for you to collaborate with the director and decide what to keep and what to cut?
Well, I was quite nervous. We've all heard there are often conflicts between writers and directors, but as soon as I met Thea, I realised we are very similar. We're from the same part of London. We have very similar sense of humour. And because she comes from theatre, she's very used to being collaborative. And I so wanted to be part of this production. I decided I couldn't be that difficult writer. I just wanted to be, as helpful as I could. So I tried to put my ego to one side and we sat next to each other. And actually very quickly we realised that we had the same vision, and it was really a matter of just working with each other rather than against each other.
Are you reading fans' reactions on YouTube, and do you feel some sort of relief, reading this appreciation for...
Yeah, I mean, from the day this story was first published 4.5 years ago, the fans' reaction has been such a huge part of my life. I mean, until a couple of months ago, I responded to every single person who spoke to me on Twitter, and I've been immensely lucky in that people seem to have taken from this story the message that we wanted them to take, which is just, this is a human story that I think is very pertinent to today, because we are keeping people alive where we didn't used to, and we need to work out how to improve that quality of life. And lots of people contact me who've been in similar positions or who are looking after people who are, in a similar position or suffer chronic illness. And I think, there's not much in literature that actually reflects the reality of their day-to-day life and the difficulties they face. So
in a certain way, this movie and the book has a happy ending, possibly.
I don't know if it's happy. I think some people feel uplifted by it, which is great. Some people don't. And I think that's the kind of interesting thing about a controversial story, is that everyone's going to come to it with their own opinion. But hopefully along the way they will have laughed and maybe they will have cried. So it will be hopefully at the very least, it will be an interesting emotional experience.
And do you think it's too easy to say, too early to say, but there will be a movie also on After You?
It is too early to say.
I tried.
I mean,
I tried.
if they wanted me to, I would love to, because I love working with Thea. I love working with Emilia. I can't imagine anybody else starring as Louisa because she is Louisa. So we'll wait and see. Yeah.
Okay, can wait.
Yeah,
Thank you
can
very much.
wait.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Abbi cura di lui e di quelli buoni.
Io non voglio che tu perda tutte le cose che un altro potrebbe darti.
Ma io posso renderti felice. Oh mio Dio! Sono diventata una persona completamente diversa grazie a te.
Sai che ti dico, Clarke? Tu sei più o meno l'unica cosa che mi fa desiderare di svegliarmi.
Wait for me to come home.